guys, so I am going to talk today about kind of what it's like right now in California where I live, and in the midst of coronavirus and COVID-19, and how it's affecting me, how it's affecting my family. This is kind of another like Nanny Chronicles type of things. My full-time job is as a nanny. Right now, life is a little bit crazy, a little bit overwhelming, I think, for just about everybody, not just me. And kind of what it's like homeschooling. All of a sudden doing homeschooling, and all of a sudden, you know, I know for a lot of people out there, what it's like working for a family where the parents are trying to work from home. So I kind of want to just get into it. It's hard. It's really hard. I nanny for a great family. I've been with them for a really long time. There's a boy, he's 9, a girl who's almost 6, and they are both in elementary school. So one of them is in 3rd grade and the other one is in kindergarten. And all of a sudden, I'm basically their teacher. It's not something that I ever expected to happen. I am now at work from 8 to 5. Or I'm sorry, from 9 to 5. So I'm doing a 8-hour work day, 5 days a week. It's a little bit different from what I was doing before. Before I was from 1 to 6, and then I kind of had other jobs in the morning along with YouTube. I would be working at other people's houses. I'd be working at school. It has been a really big change. We're all, I think, struggling a little bit at this point. I don't know how to homeschool. I don't. I'm not trained in that. I am really lucky because I've worked in the classrooms at school, so I kind of understand what's going on, but they're struggling, I'm struggling. I feel like everybody who's trying to do this is struggling, and I just want everybody to know that we're all in this together. We're working really hard to make this work. And yeah, so I'm also kind of lucky in a way. The husband has always worked from home. The entire time that I have been working for them, he's always worked from home. So him working from home does not actually impact me at all. And so I'm really not that stressed out about it. Before, we were only there for a couple of hours a day. So I would pick them up from school, and then we would only be there from like sometimes 4 to 6, sometimes even less than that. So it'd only be a couple hours into his workday. But now we're there his entire workday. So I have to be more aware that when he's on conference calls, that I'm, you know, cognizant of the noise, you know, especially since we're in the beginning stages and there has been some meltdowns and not wanting to do homeschool. So he kind of has to deal with that, and I have to be really, really patient. Not with them, with the whole situation. I have to be really patient. Sometimes it's hard, especially Thursday. So it was March. I don't know. I don't even know the dates. When was Thursday? So March 19th. This is our first week of homeschool. So March 19th, basically the 9-year-old boy and I, we basically spent the entire morning just crying. I was crying because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't doing it well. I'm gonna start crying again. I'm a nanny for a living. Like, I do this for a living. I do this every day. And this has been difficult, and it's not because the kids are being more challenging than normal, because they're not, but I feel like I am not giving them, I feel like I'm letting them down because I don't know what to do, and I know that they're frustrated, and I know that they're struggling, and I don't know how to help. And I know they want to see their friends, and I know that they want to, you know, do normal life, and I do too. And we can't, and they can't see their friends, and they can't go to school, and they love their teachers, and they can't, you know, hug their teachers, and it's really hard. And so when they get upset, I get upset because I feel like I am not doing a good enough job, and which is ridiculous because I'm doing the best that I can. And I feel like everybody is feeling the same way that I'm feeling. And so I feel like everybody is feeling just as overwhelmed. It's scary. It's really scary. And I think it'll get easier as time goes, because we'll just fall into more of a routine. Like right now we have a schedule, but it's not routine yet. And I think that once it becomes routine, it's going to be a lot easier. And then once I can kind of, you know, we can schedule more FaceTime sessions with friends and stuff like that, I think that it'll become a little bit easier on everybody. And hopefully this won't last forever. Right now they have like a tentative back to school date in a couple of weeks, but I honestly feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like the school is going to be closed for the rest of the year, for the rest of the school year, and we'll probably come back in fall, which is sad because my 5-year-old loves her teacher, and I don't think her teacher is going to be back next year. I think that she's moving back to her hometown, and so it'll be hard to not get to, you know, for her to not be able to see her teacher and give her teacher a goodbye, because we can't be around each other. You know, like we're having to be very isolated. Just everybody is having to be very isolated, and it's crazy. It's crazy how life has changed in such a short amount of time. Like literally in just a few weeks, everything has changed. I hope things get better faster. I hope that people are taking it seriously and more people aren't getting sick because people are being stupid, frankly. Let's go back to the homeschooling thing. This was really what this video was supposed to be about, is homeschooling. Homeschooling has actually, it's been challenging, but not necessarily in ways that I thought it would be challenging. We have a schedule, and the schedule makes it really easy, and the days actually go by quite quickly. And I think that the schedule works for us. Here's like the basics of the schedule. So I get there at 9. So usually the 5-year-old, she will have a class meeting over Zoom from about 8:45 to, it's supposed to be 9. Sometimes it goes until about 9:10, 9:15. So she has done that before I even got there. And they would have already had breakfast and stuff like that. So when I get in, it's either from 9 till 10, it's either math or literacy. Usually it's math, sometimes it's literacy, just depending on how difficult the tasks are. I like to get the hard tasks done in the morning when they're more, you know, good to go, and their focus is higher. So that's what we do. So from 9 to 10, we do studying academics. From 10 till 10:30, we have snack. From 10:30 to 12, we usually we call it creative time. Their school calls it exploration. So it's kind of whatever they want to do, except I try not to let them have their computers or any screen time. So no television, nothing like that. Usually they take that time to play with Legos or to do a craft or something. And then from 12 to 1 is lunch. From 1 to 1:30, we do PE. We always start PE off with stretching, and then we always end it with stretching. And sometimes their dad will come out and do the stretching with us, and I think that's really helpful because, they get to see him, and everybody kind of gets to take a moment to breathe and to get into in tune with their bodies. And then I will either do some other kind of activity with them, or I will use their PE prompt that their PE teacher will send us. From then 1:30 till 2, it's reading time, because they're supposed to read 30 minutes every day. So that's the time that we take when we read every single day. And then from 2 to 3 is literacy or math, depending on what I've done. And then from 3 to 3:30, anything else that we have to do, science, sometimes they have science that we got to do. Sometimes they have just geology or something like that that's a little bit odd that the teacher has sent over. That's when we'll do it. And then from 3:30 to 4, that's when we do chores. So everybody has chores. The kids have chores. They have to go clean up their room. I also have chores that need to be done. So that's the time that we take to do it. And then from 4 to 5, so I leave at 5. From 4 to 5, it's outside play or play in general. So their school day is done at 3:30, and then they pretty much just get to do whatever they want to do. So this schedule seems like it's jam-packed, but it's also the way that we've kind of put it together. So we started with a schedule, and the things didn't always quite work because we didn't know how the day was going to go. And then through that, we've changed and moved things around. Like, I decided that I like PE right after lunch because they already have high energy. So we moved PE to right after lunch, and then I moved reading time after that, because then we've had our stretching, and so they're calm after stretching. So that's when we do that. So things like that, it's constantly, the schedule is constantly changing around a little bit depending on how each day is. And sometimes, honestly, if it's too much and for some reason I'm losing my patience really quickly, or for some reason it's just not working out with the kids, we just take a break. So we take a break, we walk away, we do something else, and then we come back to it. Or honestly, sometimes we come back to it the next day, because that's just how this is going. It's always a work in progress. I mean, sometimes if I'm really, really struggling, sometimes their dad has to come out and kind of help me out a little bit, because communication breaks down, and that's just how it is. Like, you really have to work together as a team. Everybody is in this situation together. That's how life has been affecting us right now. My husband's working from home, so he is kind of in charge right now of the house and the dogs. Everything is going to be okay, right? Everything's going to be okay. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I know these videos aren't as popular as some of my other ones, but I'm going to keep making them because it's helpful for me. And hopefully those of you out there who are in similar situations, maybe this will be helpful for you. All right, have a great day. Stay healthy. Listen to the guidelines. You know, if your country has guidelines for you, like staying 6 feet apart. Where I live in California, we're on a shelter in place. Actually, I might have to point this out because I might get flack for going into work. The mom in the family I work for, she is a doctor, so she's an essential worker. So therefore, I'm considered an essential worker, so I'm allowed to go to work. Some nannies are not allowed to go to work right now. If you're a nanny who is not being allowed to go to work because your family is a non-essential worker, make sure you're still getting paid. Because you should still be getting paid, and it shouldn't be reduced pay. If you have guaranteed hours, they still have to pay you your guaranteed hours. Like, they have to. If they're getting paid, you should get paid. Speak up for yourself, because that's really important. You know, it's not fair for you to not be able to pay your bills. And honestly, if they're not paying you, you should probably look for another family. I mean, nannies are hot commodities right now. There are plenty of families who will hire you, and you're probably going to get paid better, to be honest. And yeah, so make sure you speak up for yourself and stand up for yourself. All right, again, have a great day. Be safe. Stay healthy. I love you guys, and bye.